I just wonder what the barangay would say if you asked them why there's all these alcohol bottles on the sidewalk just smashed. Can you imagine school children walking through here? What a nightmare. Anyway, they're about to pick up this Montero. According to their local coordination, parking is not allowed this side, even if they pay the parking attendant. Although in this case, there doesn't appear to be a ticket from the parking attendant anyway. This motorcycle doesn't have mirrors, but it does have stickers on the plate, so it cannot be read by CCTV. Of course, the enforcer will need to remove that sticker so that he can get the number and put it on his ticket, and if no driver comes out, it will be impounded. And the tow truck is actually coming in now to take away that motorcycle. They just flagged down this rider. He doesn't have a proper crash helmet, he doesn't have shoes, and he doesn't have a license plate. The penalty for a substandard helmet is actually 3,000 pesos. It's very expensive. Good morning everyone, MMDA back on the road. Right now they're on Antipolo Street. One of the conflicts in Manila City is if you're willing to pay, you can actually park on the road. My understanding is that these tickets should have a time on them. Maybe they're being pre-sold, I can't say for sure, but it does seem highly unusual that all of these vehicles manage to have a ticket before 6 a.m. and maybe this vehicle hasn't moved for a long time because it has a whole stack of tickets, and it does have one with today's date. These two trucks in front of the junk shop look like they haven't moved for a long time. But if you look at the windscreen, they do have multiple tickets from the parking attendant. I don't know if this is really the intention of how paid parking is meant to work. Look at this, for example. The ticket says August free. But do you think this vehicle is really driving around? I don't think so. How long has this been here? Look inside. Just look at this. It's the same with this vehicle over here. Looks like it hasn't been moved for a long time. There's no way you could drive that safely. But somehow it still has a ticket from the parking attendant with today's date. No time, full of junk, so you can't even sit inside there. It's full of spare parts and scrap metal. What's really going on in this place? According to one of the enforcers, a parking attendant told him that he was ordered to go here early and issue tickets to all of the vehicles because there's going to be a clearing operation. I don't have any way to verify that. Apparently during their coordination they found that the paid parking is only meant to be one side. There's actually vehicles parked on both sides, even those who paid the parking attendant. This SUV doesn't appear to have a ticket from the parking attendant, so you'll see the towing crew taking photos, videos, and they're actually going to be impounding that vehicle for illegal parking. It seems like you can park on this street as long as you know how to play the system. If you don't know how to play the system, it gets towed. It's not just cars that are parked here, there's also heavy equipment like this, usually used by the junk shops, and I can see there is a junk shop over there with some old engines, so most likely it belongs to them, I would guess. The head of MMDA Manila is reminding the local parking attendants that if it's only allowed to park on one side, don't sell tickets to people on both sides of the road. He's also reminding them that you still can't let people park on corners, on sidewalks, things like that. I can hear a train horn going, but no one seems to be stopping from crossing the tracks. Okay, so they're still crossing even though the barriers are coming down. I think they'll make it through in time though, without the train smashing them. This driver was stopped because he's wearing slippers, and you'll see his license plate from LTO is inside his compartment, and then on the back of the bike he has a broken MB file number. So many people are saying, "Where's my plate?" And then when they get their plate, they're not attaching it anymore. The enforcer's writing out the ticket now to the plate number, and then they're going to load it on the tow truck. The driver said he doesn't have a license. There's another train about to come through. Oh, I think this cyclist is going to take his chances. What about this tricycle? Same thing, barriers are already down. They just don't care. He's driving in slippers, which could be apprehended. And they just apprehended this rider here, driving in slippers and substandard crash helmet on the back. Aside from the substandard helmet, he's using an MMDA sticker for some reason. There's also a sticker on the front of the bike that says MMDA. But when I asked him if he's MMDA, he said no. This tow truck just arrived to pick up the motorcycles, and I noticed that aside from the pickup truck, or the mini truck, whatever it is, they also picked up one of these. So not exempted. I thought they were going to be ignored, but no, they've also been impounded. This jeepney's parked here and they're asking them to move it because it's literally right next to the rail track. There's lots of animals tied to it, dogs, cats, all kinds. Good luck reading the license plate of this jeepney on non-contact. They just stopped this motorcycle here. Unfortunately, excess passenger with a small child and substandard crash helmets. Mummy, daddy have helmets, but small child in the middle, no helmet, plus excess passenger. It's kind of sad because you see a lot of road accidents and often it's the children that get seriously injured or die. The penalty for those caught with children on the bike, like what you saw earlier, is very, very expensive. But a lot of the time enforcers don't want to give that expensive ticket. This tricycle's been apprehended. I think the driver's wearing slippers. There's no license plate, and he told the enforcers he doesn't have a driver's license. He looks very young, so maybe that's why he doesn't have a license. This guy is unloading his passenger early and turning around because he saw what happened. Oh, he's gonna crash. Look, turn first, look later. No plate on the back either. And they're now writing out ticket to this car parked here. The driver did come out and surrender his license, so the penalty is 1,000 pesos. They're also writing out a ticket to this tricycle, partly in the road, partly on the sidewalk. There's no plate number, so they have to put the chassis number. Most likely it'll be impounded.
Tawig! Hey!
People will complain that there's too much traffic, but look at this, one lane obstructed by plants, parked vehicles, tricycles, all kinds of things. And the sidewalks aren't much better. You can see they've been full of junk, parked vehicles. Some people are trying to leave now to avoid getting a ticket from the MMDA. If you look at this car over here, you can see there's so many tickets from the parking attendant. Some of them have already been damaged by the rain. If you were driving this, more likely you would take those tickets off, right? So I guess maybe this has been here for a long time. They were speaking to the owner of the shop, asking him to remove this from the sidewalk. Again, does the barangay not see that? I'm not sure. There's another rider over there, unfortunately driving in slippers, and the lady has unauthorized helmet. 3,500 if they added both violations to the ticket. They're speaking to the parking attendant about this one. It is being towed away because it's considered as being illegally parked. Right now the enforcers are writing out a ticket to this vehicle for illegal parking. I'm not sure if that's true, but it says chairman in the windscreen. Of course you'll see lots of people walking in the road. Why? The sidewalk was already turned into restaurants, canteens, parking, and things like that. If you run out of space, just extend over the sidewalk, the road, whatever you need, just take it. And there goes another one from further along the road.